All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Nana,
episode 41.
41.
Blast is signed,
Blast.
and actually, getting their debut.
Yeah, and putting their single on the same date that Trap Nest's launching their next one.
Yep.
Oh.
Coming out slugging.
Oh, that's
Let's go.
fun.
Yep.
Now, what's fun is that Rising Tide,
High
tide
and rising ships and all that.
Ships. So maybe actually they'll both be very successful because Ren's drama,
Sure.
adds. Ren's on their band, so
right. It's there's beef between these two bands. Yeah, no, both of them are gonna do.
yeah,
great,
it's Barbenheimer,
right? yeah, exactly, right.
No beef, just like I'll go. Which one are you gonna buy?
Right.
Buy both.
Gaia will absolutely be like, oh, you guys better make sure you beat the other person, otherwise making money hand over fist, right? Like, no, it's gonna be great.
Sure. Yeah, whose side are you on?
Exactly. Yeah, I remember there was a cafe I was in once where it was like, which person is worse of two hated celebrities or something like that, and it had two different tip jars. And it's like, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Someone is a sick genius in the background just being like, I'm doing this for all of you. And they're like, senpai! And all the workers at the front are like, tip jars really were what carried me through high school and early adult life and what have you. I'd be like, all right, I'm making how much? Oh god. And then I'd be like, but tips.
That's another $2.50 an hour.
Hacks that the USA has, still
anyways,
Anyways.
Nana, let's go.
So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
ろくに眠る暇もないほど慌ただしくなった毎日の中で、私は自分の立てた作戦の落ち度に全く気づいていなかった。
Oh.
Wow, gotta tease us like that?
着いたら何する？まずは本番の炒めしっしょ。聞いて。私お店チェックしたの。ねえ、今のトラネスの。誰？
Immediately pulls out the phone.
パンばっかりもういいって。味噌汁は飲みて。あ、俺美味しい和食屋見つけたよ。今夜行く？
That's right. They're needing to eat in London. Oh God.
Hey, they have great bread. I don't know what you're talking about.
And great fish and fries.
なちゃんは噂通りの子で、レンは本当に騙されてるんだと思うな。愛があったら料理の塩分は控えめにするはずだ。てちゃん。
Oh my God. Yep, please take me home. Yep.
匠だけずるいよ。
いや、お前はまだ鳥も残ってるし、あいつにはやむを得ない事情があるから。
何？先に帰っちゃうの？匠。すでに帰ったよ。
Wow.
何それ？それならそうと一声かけてよ。
もう日本に着いたんじゃないか？
冷たい。
Damn.
でもこっち着くの夜遅くなるし遠慮してるんだよ。
遠慮なんかすることないのに、家族になるんだから半月ぶりに会うんだし、二人きりの方がいいに決まっこの間国際電話かけてきた時最初に出たから、お父さんも芸能人なんてヤクザな商売だとか偏見言ってたけど、意外と礼儀正しいやつだって褒めてたよ。農家って一見華やかだけどいろいろ大変そうだし、ほっとできる家庭を作ってあげることがあんたの務めなんだから、あぐらかいてないで頑張りなさいよ。そういや、ナナちゃんはどうしてる？連絡取ってる？
Yeah.
ナナ、携帯壊しちゃったらしくて、こっちから電話もメールも。
Like a car, it just broke down.
You should have gotten a Nokia.
じゃあ心配だね。
でも他の友達から聞いた様子だとすっごく元気に頑張ってるらしいから。
すっごく？
さすがナナだよ。
たくましい子だね。
No, she's not.
早く自分の歌う姿を見せてあげることだけに躍起になっていて、ハチがどうしているかなんて聞いてあげようともしなかった。子供の話とか匠の話とか正直聞きたくなかったし。
That makes sense, but
ねえマリちゃん、匠はステラと会ったのかな？
さあ
ブー。
なんかしてる余裕なかったんじゃないですか？フィアンセのためにスケジュール前倒しにしたくらいだし。
ひどいよね。だってフィアンセにしてみたらそれでいいかもしれないけど、ステラの方がもっと前から匠の恋人だったんだ。
Oh my God.
Okay.
密かに匠と結婚することだって夢見てたかもしれないのに。
Oh yes, she would. Yep.
かわいそうだよ、ステラ。
Oh yes, me too. projecting!
いろんな立場から物事が見られるなんて、私は匠さんのフィアンセの気持ちしか考えてなかったな。やっぱり大勢の人を魅了する歌を歌える人は違いますね。
So considerate of you.
As the assistant, I will never say anything negative remotely about any of you.
上移入できるかの違い。私は自分のことしか考えてない自分勝手な人間だもん。ステルが本当は何を思ってるかなんて知らん。
レイラさん、お元気ですか？
Oh, she's reading all of it over your shoulder.
Yeah.
レコーディングを兼ねた強化合宿のために北国の山奥へ来ています。レコーディングは順調だけど、早朝からマラソンをさせ
Sarge!
Who's Sarge in this situation?
意味がわかりません。でもこの5日間規則正しい生活をしているせいか、僕は背が少し伸びた気がするよ。
That's because you're a baby.
Because you're 15.
Ah, this is Sarge.
All right.
文句言わずに食え。
Yeah.
つうかお前の作る飯はなんでこう全部
Because she's a salty person.
Yep.
たのにね、合宿。そしたらご飯作ってもらえたのに。
いや、そういうわけにはいかねえだろう。
いっそ学校なんかやめてうちのマネージャーになればいいのに。
I mean, hey,
気が利くしね。
そうね。
it's not a bad idea.
マネージャーは可愛い女の子が良かったよ。
やすあたしが不満なんですって
銀平、てめえ男なら男らしく喋れ。つうかハゲは2人もいらねえ。あなたがそう女らしく話したらどうなの。私のヘアスタイルは別にハゲてるわけ。
俺も別に自然にハゲてるわけじゃん。
お、いい匂いだな。あら松尾ちゃん、お夕飯まだなら一緒に行かんが。遠慮するよ。
Oh, this is incredible.
当番の日はスタッフと食うから。
そんなこったから嫁に逃げられ。
Oh my god. The
Holy
banter.
shit.
This is incredible.
今夜は練習休みにしてミーティングだ。食事が済んだらスタジオの会議室に集合な。
3人何これ。
まだ9月なの。
Don't worry, I will manage you. Yes.
と湖しかなくて生活は不便だよ。でも今のところ報道陣は追ってこないし、
Nice.
東京にいるよりずっと平和かな。何より空気が
Probably cheaper too.
夜に星がたくさん見えるのが嬉しいよ。僕はキラキラしたものを見るとなぜか
Makes me think of
レイ
you.
ラさんのことを思い出すんだ。なんでかな。
I
理
wonder.
由はわからない。
Oh my gosh.
俺も人通りの多い場所に特設ステージを組んでやるぞ。
やったライブ。
でもそれ警察とかに怒られない？
いや、もちろん場所の許可は取ってある。
Yeah, we're doing it official.
つまり客は通行人だ。ただしバイトの桜を20人用意するから。
いらねえよ桜なんか。
No,
ら桜は必要。
that's very smart.
喋るな。
新装開店の呼び込みだと思えばいいんだ。
Sure.
ただの客引きだ。
あんたヤスの言うこと
It's true.
じゃないでしょうね。
Oh my
殺すぞ
god.
ぜ。
おらやる気？すげえや。わかればいいのよ。わかれば。
そういえばレイラさんは海外にいて知らないかもしれないけど、週刊誌のネタはさらにエスカレートしていて、今はやっさんまでやり玉に上がってるんだ。
Wow.
Bold move.
レイラさんと恋人同士だったことはバレてないのか、あえて伏せてるのか知らないけど、とにかく書かれてないから
Yeah.
安心していいよ。
The assistant reads that over her shoulder. Wait, what?
暴露って何を？
いろいろなんかボーカルかばってサーチの記者殴って警察で事情聴取受けたとか。
ひでえな。
レイラさん、
ありがとう。
実は私もその噂のこと気になってたんですけど、高木さんってもしかして司法修習をされてないんじゃないですか？
何司法修習って？
医者でいうインターンみたいな制度です。司法試験に合格した後、司法修習生を1年半やらないと法律家にはなれないんですよ。
物知りだねマリツ。
We don't know anything.
あんまり知らないかもしれませんね。私は法学部出身なので。
What?
すげえな。おい
Saw that coming.
伊達にメガネはかけてねえや。
Oh my god. They're so dumb. I love it.
なんでレイラの子守なんかやってんだよ。
何子守って
おしめ変えたりとか？
してない。
私のことはともかく。
いや、 俺はお前のことがもっと知り
Say something cool.
かし、それでヤスのやつ見習いとか言ってたのか。じゃあ今がその収集中なんじゃねえの？
でも大学出てもう1年半だし、すでに弁護士かも。
いえ、修習生になると決まった研修所に行く。積む収集値も希望通りにはならないし、本気でバンドを続けてたなら難しいですよ。
Yeah, he might have given it up.
ギさんはバンドへの夢が捨てられなかったんですよ。記者を殴ったのだってメンバーを大事に思うあまりでしょうし、世間がどう
I have now given my insights into a character.
全然わからなかったもん。
俺はバンドで食ってくつもりはねえし、この街を離れる気もねえからどうしようもねえな。
Was that a hat or did Yasu have hair?
He's not, remember? He's not.
Right. I just want to see what it would have looked like.
He's bald by
Up
choice.
close.
あのためにそこまで捨て身にはもうなれねえ。好きな気持ちは今も変わんねえのに。
ねえレン、もし私が死んだら一緒に死んでくれる？
Would you love me if I was a worm?
Tell me, would you care if I were ugly? Well, yes. I mean, no.
さん、僕はね、もしレイラさんが今寂しいと言うなら、ロンドンまですぐに飛んでいくよ。
Wow.
Damn.
レイラさんの心と体が少しでも温まるならそれでいいんだ。そんな風に言うと、なんだかすごく優しい人のように勘違いされそうだけど、それ以上に大切だと思えるものが今の僕にはないだけのことだよ。
Oh, Shin.
どうなるかわからないけど、自分勝手でごめんね。
Oh.
ける相手が必要になっていくんだよ。レンは彼女とそんな風にはなれないの？
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, like in a lot of ways, there's so much about life that is about conveniences, and it's not, wrong to seek out the things that make it more convenient. Oh my God. Oh, he knows her so well.
Yep.
それは土産じゃねえから、すでにお前の手中にあるよ。左のポケット。
Okay, that's smooth.
When he hugged and kissed you, yep.
That's beautiful.
That is a big diamond, too.
That was a big rock.
かまってやれないけど、苦労はさせないから。
2番目の中で1番ならいいよ。
いや、悪いけど、お前は2番目の中でも2。
Oh my God.
1番の女への土産はこれがいいかな。
靴？
お前には入らねえし。
小柄なんだ。
This is so funny.
幸子。またあなたなの。
Oh my God.
つけたの？しかもそんな興奮な。まあいいけど、なんでも。
He's like, I'm bantering, but.
はい。
Yeah.
じゃあこれはさっちゃんの。
Yeah. Number 2. Yeah, I can't believe. Yeah, yeah.
やめてよその不吉な名前。
Isn't that amazing? Oh, that was so funny.
僕はロマンチストにはなれないし。だから、これからは時々こうしてメールを送るよ。気が向いたら返事をください。それじゃあまた。今日は天気がいいから、夜は星がたくさん見えるだろうな。
ブリン。
網に隠れて何のお仕事？
お前こそ何してんだ。夜中に一人で出るなよ。危ねえな。
タヌキがゲリラライブの話なんかするから興奮して眠れねえんだよ。
今のうちに寝とけ。東京帰ったらプロモーション活動で大忙しだぞ。
Yeah, we won't be able to rest. So for now we travel to the moon.
一緒に寝る？
そうするか。冗談だよ。
笑えねえんだよ。だってあんた私にベタ惚れじゃん。
そうだな。
Yeah.
Just like that.
のうちさらしちゃとぼけようがねえな。ちょっとやりすぎたか。
It was always obvious, but like.
あんたの絆よりあんたとの絆の方が強くなってしまった気がするよ。 レンといてもどこか寂しくて、もう昔みたいに一つにはなれないんだよ。
ああ。
レンを好きな気持ちはずっと変わらないのに。
マイ、ユイ、スミレ、アカネ。やっぱり名前は漢字一文字がいいね。名字が3文字だから字面が綺麗。匠もそうだし。
いいじゃん、幸子で。
それは
No!
Oh my god.
Oh
my god.
Fuck, that's so funny.
私は今もキラキラしたものを見るとレンのことを思い出すから。
What an episode. So funny, so ridiculous.
God.
So much banter. All right, this episode had so much banter. Fucking loved it. The episode was basically just we're grappling with the intensity of what it means to then be debuting for the band and everything, but then also just, okay, everybody's going to have to grapple with that on their own individual stuff that they're dealing with.
I think the theme of this episode is the sacrifices that are made.
Yeah.
I'm not even necessarily going to say love, because I don't want to call what Takumi feels that. But, you know, the sacrifices that we make, right? And the idea, yes, he's talking about the name and he realized it sounds like a tongue twister.
Right.
But no. In my mind, she called him Papa and he's like,
Like you would.
Wait, fuck, am I old? Wait, hang on. Danger, Will Robinson. Am I boring?
Am I out of touch? No, it is the kids that are. Am I cringe? Wait,
but then
no.
In the same, like, you know, not to discount all the serious stuff that we got into with
serious
this
stuff.
Yeah, we got the confirmation. Yes, Yasu's in love with Nana.
been in love with her for a long time because he's been sacrificing so much for her.
Right.
And it's so fucking funny how like obvious it was. But the thing that makes me just so frustrated about it is that Yasu is that guy she tells you not to worry about.
Yes.
My favorite character of the guys in this story, at the very least for the guys specifically, he is that guy.
Well, and the thing is, with the whole, you know, the guy that, you know, she tells you not to worry about, it's not about what the feelings are, it's about what you do. You know,
I mean,
right?
yeah.
And Yasu, I think he's got it properly under wraps, right? Like when he said the whole thing of the, well, I don't need to like pretend about it now, right? That's not from the standpoint of something's going to change in the dynamic.
Right, he's not plotting anything.
Yeah, no, it's just, yep. Anyways, you know, right? Like, there we go.
Yeah, I personally just find the whole idea of someone being like, oh yeah, I'm in love with you. And yeah, I'm not gonna, like, he's fixated. He's fixated. That's Yasu, like you can.
Yeah.
You can. This feels like an example of something where he's got a crush. Specifically.
Okay.
And he's not willing to let it go. But he uses it basically as fuel to then make him be willing to then sacrifice so much for the band and for everybody else here.
So that could definitely be it. I think with especially with the context of the other dynamics in the show.
Yeah.
That it's basically hey, we have a bunch of situations where the feelings that are had and the connections between the characters are not necessarily destructive in a lot of ways, but they come at a cost, and a cost that doesn't make sense, right?
Yes.
And I think the most extreme or upfront example of it is Shin, with the letters and everything to Reira, right? Or the emails. Because he's young, and so it's the, no, this is stupid, and it's your choice, of course, right? And there's an element where, you know, we're all fools in love, but because you're young, you aren't able to properly see all of the costs that are actually being paid.
He has no filter. He has no like self, you know,
exactly
kind of awareness or anything like that.
And then taking it to a similar example, but opposite in other regards, the Takumi and Hachi situation. Yes. they were upfront about the idea and of like what this is, right? You know, it's that sort of like
cost.
You know, it's that kind of happy lie, right?
You will have to be sacrificed for the sake of the band. Hachi.
Right. Yeah, and he's upfront about it. He's like, hey.
And yes, and he did do the banter thing of like, you're number 2 in my number 2 spot. She's like, Sachiko. Right. And it's like, no, we're gonna have a baby. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It is a traditional thing. I think there's some potential like interesting things that you could get into with that. But the idea of like, no, if we were on a sinking ship, you're an adult, you'll figure it out. I'm saving the baby. You know?
Right, exactly. You know, like there's as
close as being equal as you guys are in the point of actual panic emergency.
Yep.
I'm grabbing the baby first. I'm sorry.
Exactly, right? Like,
it can't defend itself, you know?
Yeah, that's just sort of how it goes, right?
Yeah. And also there's the paternal, just actual like, oh, you're part of me. Like
Right, exactly. And as much as I hate Takumi,
yes,
I can't hate this side of him because
he's honest.
Because he's honest and in a different way, he is at his best when it's not personal.
Right.
All of the things that he has done where I'm like, you sick son of a bitch, it's when specifically
he made things personal.
Yeah. And so him being in a situation where it's there's
no ego here. It's just It's just like I have very specific boundaries.
And there's no overabundance of care regarding Hachi, right? It's I care about you to the degree that I feel is, you know, I'm capable or is prudent or whatever.
Yes, in the practical sense of what was going on with not just Mom for Hachi, but also with Reira being the idea that, oh, no, you can just sometimes be the person that helps ease the burden for somebody else. And this is an element that I think is actually like very not romantic, but it's very practical and important.
Yes.
Is that you are living life. Life sucks. If you're going to be with somebody, they should make life suck less.
Right.
That can be the most simple, basic motivation for the relationship at the barest minimum foundation. Obviously, there's more to it than that.
Yep.
But at the bare minimum, that's a great start.
And that's the
Yasu makes Nana's life suck a lot less.
And
he does, in some ways, make his own life kind of suck. Because he's willing to sacrifice so much.
In a certain way, but then
from
a different certain way, she also
standpoint.
Potentially makes his life a lot better, right?
Right.
And that's the aspect of where, say, with Shin, he's not wrong, right? The things that he's thinking about and all that stuff, it's not incorrect.
Right.
It's that it's an incomplete picture.
Exactly.
And so it's the fact that you're making that decision, that could be just great. But when you get that additional information, will you still be able to make that decision? Will you still feel like that's the way to go?
Rub.
And that's where, as much as I hate to say it, Takumi and Hachi have a more healthy situation than him and Reira. Which,
true.
Granted, that shouldn't be saying much because he's fucking 15.
Yeah. So with everything
he's
below the ground level.
It's below the water line. Like we're But okay, right? So it's one of these weird things where we have all of these dynamics between the characters, and it's all right, you guys are committed to each other in the various different ways that you are. Let's see how that goes. There's going to be those ups and downs, knocks and things like that. But all that being said, this felt fairly optimistic, or this made me feel fairly optimistic, even though it's also and there's going to be a lot of pain along the way, because there's going to be pain, and that's because it's a bad thing that needs to stop, or there's pain because, hey, there's pain. It's life. There's pain, right?
That's just existence,
So, yeah,
it's fun.
The jokes with the staff at the place.
The jokes across the episode. I think that was probably my favorite thing about this episode, was just how goddamn funny it was. When they brought up the idea of them being in the Gaia, secret compound or what have you. And I'm like, who's the Sarge? And then, Ren is
Nana.
missing, Nana's, overly salty miso soup, what have you. And they're like, this miso soup is too salty. And then they're like, so the Sarge is Nana. And it's like, wait, actually, maybe it's not. Because then we've got this other manager that's like, hey,
Actually looks more like a sergeant.
Actually looks like...
He's got like the muscly arms and everything.
Yeah,
When
like-
Nana's like, hey, want to fight? He's like, bitch, I can do it. You know?
I can throw hands verbally and physically.
Right.
And they both were just trading blows.
Yep.
I love this character being brought in to kind of shake up the dynamic here. But then the idea that, all this time of them just spending together here is just going to make them even more kind of lonely for the other people in their lives and stuff.
Right.
And so the fact that that all leads up to Yasu and, For me, it's the idea that Yasu, it was more nuanced when we didn't know for sure.
Okay.
Now that we know for sure, the issue I have is that I'm now realizing more and more the structure of this story being one that is extremely defined by the tropes for its thing here. Is that everyone's in love with Nana and everyone's in love with Hachi.
Yep.
This is the story of the women being the main characters and everyone's in love with them.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's
and in particular in the case of Nana, she actively works to make that be the case because that's how she can keep them nearby.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what Hachi does as well.
Yes, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Just maybe less consciously.
And I will say personally, the part that is frustrating to me is I love this story. I love this story a lot. I love the characters a lot.
Yeah.
To me, I actually feel slightly uncomfortable, just in general, with the idea that, one, I am going to have to call out these two main characters over and over again for the bullshit
shitty
they are
things
doing.
they do?
The shitty things that they do.
Oh, yes.
And it's the thing is that...
Oh, yeah.
The thing is that robs the agency. If I do that, then it robs the agency of the men who are basically either allowing or perpetuating this.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yasu is probably the biggest enabler in this show.
No, that's the thing. You can't just throw around the biggest. He's just another enabler now.
Well, okay, there's a lot of enablers in this show.
No, that's my point though, is that the story is wanting to make sure that there are no icons here. There are no beings in this story that are above the basic human selfishness.
Right.
And the idea that that is not an evil thing. Hachi, in a very basic example, is a great litmus test for people who can't stand having protagonists that are selfish.
Sure.
If you have a character that is selfish, suddenly you're like, oh, I can't stand it.
Right. Well, it's
they can't want anything. They must be in complete service to everyone else around them.
It's kind of just take the whole thing from the previous episode of like, how dare the record label be a company that's trying to make a profit, right? And then it's like, they should, we don't want to work with them because they're trying to make a profit when they're giving us an opportunity.
They are trying to monetize my childhood.
No, absolutely.
They're trying to monetize Nana's,
right,
secrets for the purpose of making money. It's pretty shitty, but it's
absolutely.
But yes, the idea that you think any band record company or what have you isn't potentially monetizing any aspect of their stars for the purpose of that,
and everybody will have their sushi, where it's like okay, and then suddenly
and then
things
get
things
maybe
get
I'm
questioned.
okay with it.
Yeah, maybe I'm okay with it.
And Nana's clearly okay with it, so it's fine. It's fine.
And so then within the relationships, that is absolutely something that is happening, right?
Right.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's more just understanding of it. The reason that the Shin Reira situation is going to go so badly.
It's because at some point it
age
will
aside,
get out.
Is not that it will get out, but there will not be proper communication and understanding about what the dynamic actually is.
Well,
Whereas
it's been held in the secrets area for 25 episodes.
No, right. But I'm talking about for the characters themselves that are involved in it, right? Whereas in the Takumi situation, it's you want stuff. Okay, cool.
I'll get you all the stuff.
I will get you all the stuff. And because I know that that's what you're excited about, and I know you're going to be excited about the ring, I'm going to bring all this cool stuff that you'll be like, oh, this is cool. Wait, hang on. Where's the thing that I actually want? And I'll tease you with it. And no, I gave it to you first thing and you didn't even realize it. It's right there. Right? Like, that was very smooth. That was cool. That was Takumi acknowledging the things that Nana values, even if a lot of people might see that that's shallow, vapid, whatever,
Right.
And actually being like, hey, I'm going to basically give you that want, right?
I just wanted to bring up the Yasu thing because it's cool. My illusion about Yasu was finally shattered this episode. He is not perfect, or not even that. He's not even best boy. He's just another good boy. He's not.
Okay.
He's not best boy. There is no best boy. There is no best girl here. We are all filled with characters that are selfish, that are willing to sacrifice things specifically for what they want and need, but not actually in any kind of intrinsically selfless way here.
Okay.
And I think that this is something that is okay to have as an illusion shattered here, is that relationships and characters in these dynamics and stuff do things primarily because it's convenient for them.
Okay.
Not actually because they're some selfless, perfect person. And we need to be okay accepting as people, like as a society in general, that only selfless sacrifice should be rewarded. No, sacrifice in general is already hard in and of itself. Ren is having that kind of moment where he's like, wait, am I a cold person for not having sacrificed more? And it's the thing of like, oh, I could never do what Yasu did. And that's okay.
That's fine. That's actually
fine.
just showing that maybe you're in a more healthy place as an individual.
Yes.
Because
Right.
So, and this is where I'd push back or have a different perspective on the Yasu thing, maybe. It's not that Yasu is being selfish necessarily. Yes, you could say in an absolute sense, everybody does things because it is in their own interest.
He wouldn't do this for Nana if he didn't love her. That's
yes,
right.
but hear me out.
Okay.
Yeah, people do things because at the end of the day they want to do that thing, right?
Or they want something for doing that thing.
Right. Yeah. But in this case, it is not because Yasu wants something for doing that thing. It's because he wants to do that thing. Otherwise, he would have a scheme, right?
Well,
that's like he's
again,
honest about that. It's I don't have a scheme.
Again, he kept this a secret all this time.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you?
No,
right?
No. I understand that, but I think the part that is where I think that this is where we are taking this too much from the standpoint of that they're characters in a story versus what this like
I don't think I am, but go for
no,
it.
No,
What's
the idea. Let me cook here. The
Yeah.
idea that if Yasu is best friends with Ren, basically.
Yep.
And he's always been in love with Nana here. And maybe he's communicated with this with Ren. Who knows? But I doubt it. I think that having this kind of, I'm going to basically selflessly display my love for my best friend's, girlfriend here. All this time, keeping it a secret, and then the kindness of it is then viewed as at least I'm keeping it a secret. But it's I'm doing this primarily because of that. I feel like it's a bit disingenuous, or he's in a little bit of delusion to think that it's something that's not inherently a little it's immune to the idea of any kind of ulterior motive because I'm in love.
Okay,
and I think that's the point with I
think that's
I don't want to basically allow the stuff with Shin of his very immature kind of grander kind of romantic displays be viewed as like, this is immature because he's unfiltered, just raw, giving it out here, versus the other side of it where it's but if you keep it completely a secret and have I am so mature that I would actually not say anything. That's more no, Yasu's got his own kind of romantic thing that he's doing in these grand gestures and displays and stuff, but because he's not communicating it to Nana, I would say it's its own flavor of immaturity.
Alternate perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, there's absolutely some level of immaturity because, well, not immaturity, degree to which, if we were to call immaturity basically not being able to handle your own internal state and that causing something to happen, right?
Sure. Okay.
Then sure, because as a result of him, like he loves Nana, That's not something that I'm sure he intended to have happen, and it might not even have been something that happened at the beginning.
Well, it doesn't matter.
But the point is that that's the situation.
That's what's happening
now,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That, of course, is going to affect the way that he acts, right? Because he cares about her a lot. That is something that can happen regardless of whether or not there is any sexual desire, right?
Sexual desire doesn't come into play here. It's go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. You can love somebody, right? And that is absolutely going to change how you interact with them, right?
Yes.
You can love somebody romantically, and that can change things in addition, right? In Yasu's situation here, the fact that he is
in
doing
love with her.
no,
Sorry.
The fact that he is being there for her in all of these different ways. One, that mostly happened when Ren left. That was not something that was demonstrated to be a thing when Ren was around, right? Of course, the story starts with Ren leaving.
Yeah.
But
okay.
No, but so there is nothing that we have shown of Yasu doing that overly much when Ren was around, right?
Right.
There's no evidence for that to be the case, so there's no reason for that to be the case. So anything about him, like subconsciously scheming or something, no.
No, I get you. We don't have anything to compare it to.
Right.
You're
There's
right.
no actual evidence for that. Ren comes back into the situation. Well, Yasu has gotten really close to Nana. He hasn't even, even when they were broken up and everything, he didn't try and do anything because probably he was being respectful of the fact that Nana was not in a place for that and all that stuff. That'd be a shitty thing to do or whatever, right? Okay, yeah. But he's very close to her and he has helped her a lot, and so there is naturally going to be that strong connection.
Right.
When Ren comes back into her life, it's not like that suddenly stops, and if he has feelings that would be complicated if they were made known about that, okay, yeah, just deal with it. That, don't suddenly disappear from the person's life because you have, feelings that complicate things.
No, totally.
Just deal with the feelings.
Again, absence of the negative doesn't inherently make it
part
positive.
of where Yasu's situation is unhealthy is not because of what he wants to have happen with Nana or whatever, but the fact that he is not properly standing up for himself, and so he is effectively giving a lot of very expensive checks, if you will, in the life sense or emotional sense or whatever.
To Nana.
And
right?
his own maintenance of whether or not that is something he can continue to do is something that he needs to properly manage. And the fact that it got to the point where he is effectively jeopardizing his career for this thing, that might also be something that he wants to do, but before he decided he wasn't going to do that, right? And now he is, right? That definitely complicates things, and that's something that Yasu needs to deal with and think about. And ideally, now that Nana knows that he is in love with her, maybe then she'll be a bit more careful about how she basically kind of uses him, because she uses a bunch of people in her life, and now she might have a better understanding of the consequences of her doing that, right? But I don't think that that's something where it's a problem of Yasu as far as like his character. It's more of just that this is that maybe immaturity of the. You're in a bit of a pickle here, and you need to make sure that the way that you deal with it is actually going to work for you in the long term.
Right. I think personally that Yasu. I agree that the tough thing about this is we don't have a comparison for how he acts around Nana when Ren is around. We don't really have as much time with that. I do think that is a convenience versus anything that proves anything specifically.
Okay.
I think that the aspect of him doing this stuff and keeping it a secret for so long is a little bit weird.
Well, but why is it? Like in what situation would you actually tell the person?
If there's something where you're realizing that like, oh, I'm making decisions
that are difficult, that are making things difficult for them. Because if it's something where it's like, hey, because of your feelings, like it's causing you to like, and it's not being addressed, then you're causing their, like, you're making their life difficult. Okay, that makes sense. Hey, sorry about that. I have feelings that I haven't been dealing with properly.
Yeah.
But if it's something that's just for him.
No, I think it would be for both. It would have to be not just one or the other. It'd have to be both.
Sure.
And I think that it's you could definitely make the argument that it's been for both at this point.
Really?
Like,
any examples?
Well, so like he's
where Yasu made things difficult for Nana as a result of these.
Which one do you have more of an issue with?
Yasu making things difficult for Nana.
Oh, okay.
It's a bad idea that he's been letting all of these things that make his own life difficult as a result of this stuff sort of accrue up, right? And that could cause issues down the road. He's been doing a great job of it so far, but maybe, there's a limit somewhere that he isn't aware of.
I think in the way that he enables her.
Okay.
And it's something that he's wise enough to know that he's kind of doing.
Okay.
Like, I think that that's something where if we keep in a pretty high regard and stuff like that, that's where his delusion would have to be. Is that he doesn't necessarily see how much he's enabling her.
Okay.
Like, if he's actually that close to her, I think that he would be calling her out a little bit more, and he kind of just ends up bailing her out a lot.
So I'm with you. At the same time,
that's kind of where I would.
At the same time, it's not his responsibility to do any of that. Maybe because he's not in a relationship with her, right?
No, but
her dysfunction. That's her thing. Yeah, he's being helpful for her, but like a lot of the people in the band are doing that too.
Yeah. I'm with you, but I think responsibility is a moot point when you just look at actions. The things that he does, he basically takes responsibility for her by the way that he takes care of her, basically. Think about it from like a Takumi perspective. In a lot of ways, he's kind of like Takumi. He basically is the one that is running the band to make sure that the ship stays afloat.
Yeah. He's being the responsible one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. He's being the responsible one, but he's not only that. He's looking at Nana from the standpoint of like, I want her to have the world. I want her to basically like he is doing so many selfless things for her that it ends up putting him into that kind of paragon perspective there. And I think that was what we had viewed things, at the very least, for the majority of the show, in that he just constantly stands up for her and everything and stuff like that.
Sure.
And when you think about it, that it's not necessarily a selfless thing, it's that he's in love with her. It's that makes sense. We had basically at least somewhat determined that he doesn't necessarily like love her from like a shallow perspective. It's he very much has spent a lot of time with them. But
right. Regardless, the band members love each other.
Yes.
Whether that is complicated by sexual desire is another thing. That it goes into the romantic sense for Yasu. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
That informs things, but also at the same time, if you just care about somebody that much, even without the romantic stuff, it could absolutely look the exact same way.
But that's just not what we're dealing with here. That's like we now know it's romantic. We now know it is sexual. It is an actual thing of where he does want her. Like it's a moot point to call it a thing of where then all this was selfless.
And again, we could go into the specifics of if you get good feelings because you see someone happy, right, that you care about a lot.
Right. Again,
sure. But not talking about that.
Not talking about that, no. No, clearly. Yeah.
Yasu needs to be selfish. That's the problem here. Not with regards to what happens with Nana romantically, but the fact that he is being so self-sacrificial, it is arguably detrimental.
Yes.
And the results of that are basically the receipts are being brought up, and he's like,
it's pointless to hide it anymore. Like,
right, exactly. But no, I don't have any schemes or anything like that, and that's it.
Right. It's just it is a very interesting thing for me to think about. Like, what would be the perspective if you were in a situation where your girlfriend's best friend was, secretly in love with them for, years and years and years.
Sure.
And intentionally kept that a secret from everybody. And then basically spent all this time and all this energy basically pouring into them in a way that was inherently, I would say, mostly positive. A lot of enabling in there, but we've got that omniscient perspective, so that perspective doesn't really matter as much. But
I think if Ren were privy to that conversation, like he gets told about this, he'd be like, "Yeah, that makes sense." I don't think
it makes sense, but you don't think it would be bothered by it at all.
Because the whole thing of keeping it a secret, that is a foregone conclusion. You don't tell somebody about that. You don't make it their problem, right? Like, it's already a sucky enough situation for you. Don't make that, like, you deal with your own shit.
Oh, no, you deal with your own shit, but I think the point is that he didn't, and that's why we're here now.
No, but he did. like,
but how did she know and come up to him like, you're in love with me, right?
Because reporters brought the receipts of, he's been real self-sacrificial and all that stuff, right? He still took care of all that stuff, but it's someone ends up finding out. That's like,
that's not okay.
Like he did all the right stuff to basically like, yeah, I'm still going to.
He was going to keep doing this basically until he got caught, basically. Like,
yeah, but I don't think it's a got caught thing, right?
No,
because
I get you, but
right? Like,
no,
like,
I
he's
get
being
you.
he's being a definitely more than decent to her, but like, if you have a close bond, right, you'll of course end up, feeling their pain and taking care of them as much as you can and all that stuff, right? Right.
Yeah.
And ways in which they're able to effectively do that and whatnot, and the way in which it might be enabling, totally, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
I'm just realizing that as the story's gone on now, I actually realized how much I had kind of accidentally projected onto Yasu this persona that he's not. Just the idea that he's this iconic, completely selfless kind of person that just cares primarily about the band.
And can also like kind of do anything.
And he can kind of do anything. And then it's the realization that he's like, no, actually, he's throwing away his lawyer career because he's in love. And it's not even necessarily about the band. It's about Nana.
Sure.
That's the thing that I think that is not just a form of deception for the sake of just, it makes things easier if people don't know. Totally. Deal with your own shit.
Yeah.
I think that that's also a very, like, prototypically kind of masculine thing in that he's basically thinking like, I don't want to make other people burdened by my life and stuff.
Put from another perspective, Reira is not hiding her own shit at all about the fact that she's in love with Takumi.
No.
Not in the slightest.
Not even in the slightest bit.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So to contrast the two, since they were the ones that had the, past and stuff like that.
Right.
But in this case here, I just am realizing, shit, yeah. Nana has known this on a
on some level,
on a Star Wars like somehow I've always known.
Right, yeah.
And,
I love you. I know.
And,
yeah.
And has taken advantage of that and manipulated him in that regard. He has also, on some level, let it slip.
Right.
He's basically made the point of that it's no use pretending anymore. Basically the point that it wasn't like, I was trying to keep this a secret as much as possible, but it's I'll just pretend, See how this is a great pattern. This will work out eventually.
Oh, it's out of the bag? I don't need to anymore.
Right. So it's the thing of where he was actively not trying to work on his shit. He was like, I think I have a good system here, and I can keep this up indefinitely. And it couldn't.
Because to some extent, right, if something like this ends up happening, it's, because, the heart is a fickle thing, right? And it's try to keep this situation from happening. Guess it happened.
Yeah. So okay. I'm now realizing why I can why I can crystallize this into a few words as to why this is so problematic for me.
Okay.
Yasu holding on to a crush, a love for somebody for this many years without communicating it, with keeping it a secret, and then also trying to do the thing of where I'm going to give so much to them in I have no plot or scheme or anything here. From that standpoint, he is at the very least lying to himself and that he's okay maybe I'm like trying to put myself too much into Yasu's situation, trying to see where it would be like with this. But if you're holding on to a crush or a love or an infatuation, whatever you want to call it, for that many years while they're with somebody else, I think you have a problem.
What? Now, to clarify what you're saying,
like an immaturity problem, I would say.
Okay, I beg to differ. I would definitely say you have a practical problem.
No, obviously you have a practical problem, but I think that personally, the reason why people hold on to that stuff for so long, in my limited perspective, is that there is that some part of them that has that childlike, innocent, it's just the heart wants what it wants, and it's just I can't stop it, and it's like that is a perspective that I feel like you can have, but it does it does not match up with the years and years of, as they were talking about, like growing up and everything like that. It is something that is reserved for the realms of the Shins, who are the 15 years old and stupid in love. Sure. But if it's suddenly the 20, I don't know how old Yasu is. He's not actually bald, right? So who knows? Yeah. I think he's actually kind of young, and now that I...
yes, no, he is absolutely a mythical creature in his own right. Yeah. Well,
I hate it because I actually feel like we've been told how old he is, and I forgot.
Something I do want to bring back up, though, is the idea that he also was one of the people that, if I'm remembering this correctly, left the band when Ren left, right? It's the, hey, we're not going to be like, or at least it's the, I'm not going to Tokyo, right? Like, I'm doing my thing, right? Like,
I have to go back and check because there was also a specific bit where he tried to make sure that they could get the band back together.
He got brought, the band got back together, right? He's here now.
Yeah,
but there... I think there is absolute, like, not just is there the lack of, we don't know how things were when, Ren and Nana were together, regardless of knowing when he actually fell in love with her, but there is actual concrete evidence that he did, like, distance himself from the situation, right? When the band thing wasn't going to be happening. So I think,
go back and check. I don't remember
and all of that's on top of the, he might also have desires to have the band thing happen. It's just the I'm not the
they're high school friends.
Yeah, exactly.
They absolutely want the band to happen, but it's the
right. I'm not
Ren got brought up into bigger and better things.
Yeah, and I don't have the same chip on my shoulder or whatever that Nana has, where it's the all right, we're gonna do this, regardless, starving artist or whatever, right? Yeah. Like that's probably like from a, and this is where from the other aspect of things of Nana kind of like pulling him along. I think there is the dysfunction in it, absolutely, but that's also a part of how the band works. She is the leader, she is the vision caster, right? Like all of those things. The fact that he's also fallen in love with the vision caster who is in a relationship with someone else. That's a pickle for sure, but like
nobody's arguing anything about that.
Right, but I'm saying I think there is enough foundation in that being a thing that happens regardless of any romantic feelings, that when you put romantic feelings into the mix or acknowledge that has been a thing that's been there, I don't think that suddenly puts some I don't think it suddenly takes Yasu's actions and retroactively like makes them problematic, right?
I think it does the longer it goes back to his crush. I think it absolutely does.
Yeah?
I think the more recent it is, the less it does. Yeah. Because then Yasu has been intentionally keeping this under wraps without any necessarily obvious attempts to try and get past it.
Well, and that's where
I don't think he would be necessarily a person trying to, have progress here. He's in his own little world.
I fully, if you're in a situation like that, right, nobody wants to fall in love with the best friend that is in a relationship with their other best friend, right? Like
wants to, or like
like if
does the heart wait
no nobody wants that, right?
Well, like, no obviously like, nobody wants that, but are we saying that you're saying that the heart is, you're not saying that the heart is capable of choosing in this case here.
Right, but
he fell in love with who he falls in love with.
Yes, but when that starts to happen, if you think the person wouldn't have already tried to make that not happen, like come on. Well, that absolutely would have been something that already would have been attempted, and it just must not have worked, right? Like
I know that's a thing that I think is putting way too much agency out of the hands of Yasu. I think all of us. Okay, let me just address all of the human race here. We've all had crushes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What were the things that you did to kill your crush when you realized that, like, you were like, this is doomed?
Maybe distance myself from them, like not stay in the band or not go to Tokyo.
Right. Or specifically not going and, meeting up with them like late at night, to go and just, I don't know.
But like, I feel like that goes into the question of, can you be like real actual close friends with someone of the opposite sex, right? Like that kind of stuff where that doesn't have to be a thing that is on the table, right?
Totally.
And like in the situations with Nobu, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, is Nana absolutely the kind of person who is manipulative and would potentially use something like that in order to get what she wants from somebody? 100%.
Yeah.
I can also absolutely see in Nobu's mind where it's the, no, that's not what's going on here. And maybe even in Nana's mind, since a lot of the manipulation that she does is subconscious, right?
Yeah, and
like,
I think that either this puts Yasu into a situation where he's got this iron dedication. He still is an absolute like legend here.
Sure.
Or at the very least, he is okay letting Nana manipulate him.
Sure. To some extent, they all are because they're still in the band.
Yeah. I think to different extents. Nobuo is not in love with Nana. He did have a crush on her.
No, I'm not talking about being in love. I'm talking about being okay with her manipulating.
No, I know, but they're both actually a great example of the ways now in which these two people have been or are currently in love with Nana at any given point, and they both respond differently to the ways in which Nana manipulates them. Nobuo specifically, I would say, kind of is either completely unaware because he's kind of dumb sometimes.
Sure. Yeah.
Or he actually fights back really hard. Yasu just kind of is like, this is my burden. I will take this.
Sure.
I don't actually like tell Nana really too much when she's doing something wrong or when she's doing something. Like, he doesn't really call Nana out.
Well, yeah, and a lot of the times, like, let's be real, when Nana is using Yasu, it's when she is specifically in an unstable state, right? It's in those situations where it might not be the best time for Yasu to say something like that. And also, let's be real, Nana doesn't exactly respond too well to being called out, right? Like, she's so, like...
So, he enables.
Well, no, yeah.
Right. But I think that's the difference between someone like him and Nobuo, is that Nobuo actually does call Nana out a lot. And in a lot of ways, I think that's why she doesn't go to Nobuo as much for this kind of stuff.
Sure, absolutely, yes.
Right.
Yeah. In the same way that she doesn't go to Shin much, right?
Well,
or
no.
You know.
Shin is different. He is not an OG member of the band. He has not been in the family for the long time.
And when he
gets voted off the island immediately for that reason.
And when he arrived, she attempted to basically do her thing.
Yes.
And it just kind of didn't work. You know. So yeah.
All right. It's just a fun little toxic family we've got here.
Absolutely.
They're all messy and it's incestuous and it's
not the word I would have used, but
okay. Not to make it that extreme, but it's in the idea that like this band is held together by the things that none of them can really have, and thus Nana being the one to want the biggest thing, want the most ridiculous and most over-the-top thing, and being know, number one in Japan, shining bright and being this hero and all that. It makes the story fun because the conflict is going to revolve around all the characters bending reality to try and get her what she wants. And and I'm just realizing a little bit more that I am okay with the story doing that. I am just realizing that the characters primarily are actually in the mechanics of the world in service of that to the utmost.
Sure, and even like from an in-character perspective, that's kind of why they've been able to be successful. That's kind of why Nana specifically has these people around her, right? Like, you know,
or why they haven't fallen apart because they're getting their stage here because of sheer dumb luck.
Well, right. In a lot of ways, if it was something where this Nana wasn't able to manipulate them to a semi-effective level, she would have started a different band with different people, or she would have left this band and tried to start a new band with new people that she could do that to.
That is a fun kind of thing there. Maybe also this is another thing where I'm just revealing. I'm not revealing, or like just learning a little bit more about myself. I really don't like the idea of people manipulating or lying to me and saying it's for my benefit. I think it reviles me in every sense of it, because what it basically is them saying, I know what you need better than you know yourself. Because we're so close, I'm going to intentionally deceive you and lie to you and manipulate you. And then they'll be like, and there's no plot here. It's just because I care so much about you.
And there's
I hate that. I hate that so much.
Then there's also and I don't even like calling them this, or for this situation, but the lies of omission. Where it's the, I don't think anybody's, like, the first time that somebody asked Yasu this that we've seen, he admits to it, right? But, you know, he probably made sure that wasn't brought up. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like
that's why I hate the thing of it, like there's no plot, no scheme. I'm like, I know what you mean, but that's so arrogant to like say that and be like, yep.
Well, right, because Yasu's big flaw here is, and to the degree that it's a flaw, is something we'll see as the story continues, is holding himself and his own capabilities in very high regard. Whether that's with his awareness of himself that there was no scheme,
Sure.
or the capability to be like, you know what, I'm in the red.
He's enabling himself.
Right, exactly. I've been in the red for a long time.
Right.
It's fine. I've got deep pockets. How deep? I'm not entirely sure, but you know,
That's just fun.
Haven't overdrawn yet. So
we're seeing his fatal flaw finally on full display. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because it's not really that fatal, it's just that he's kind of just been able to do so much so far that it's like, right, you're human too.
Back to the whole, corporate, thing. If it works,
yeah, why change it?
Yep.
Wow, y'all, this got a lot out of me. So yeah, sorry if that was a bit of a roller coaster here. I was very like frustrated and excited, and also like, wow, I'm learning a bit more about me through this show. And I think a good drama will teach you a lot about your own emotions and the way that you relate to specific kinds of drama as well.
Sure.
So yeah, it'll be fun. But all right, that's episode 41. And y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.